That fool could just freaking just anywhere. He'd be walking down the street and just bam, casket drop.
It's not as effective as a stunner or an RKO or a diamond cutter.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, bro.
It's just really not.
We need to get together and get an actual full show. Hopefully we can get it together sometime soon because I got to get back to work. I had to get on here 6 fucking years.
Yeah, man.
Thank you to all the special guests, all the listeners. Thank you to you, bro. Freaking, here's to 6 more fucking years.
Yeah, let's hope for 6 more years. That'd be great. Thanks, Sean, for coming by for us, buddy. And thank you for having me on for, 2.5 years now. And like I said, my back really does hurt, but I mean,
get the fuck out of here.
All right, buddy. Thank you for stopping by. Have fun at work tonight, okay? I'll talk to you later on, okay?
Later.
Later, buddy.
Peace.
All right. That was our buddy, our co-host, our dude, Happy the motherfucking clown, signing off for a little bit to go back to work. Big J says Superman punch. No, dude. No Superman punch. All right. Let's get down to it. I got a lot of news to cover and really not a lot of time to cover it in. So first things first, one of the bigger pieces of news throughout the week, Adam Page leaves the Elite. Yeah, we see on one of the last episodes of Being the Elite, Adam Page has decided he's going to run by himself for a little while because he feels like he's the most unsuccessful member of the Elite. Honestly, if that's the story they're going with here, I think it's not bad. Because my wife, huge fan of Adam Page, has noticed since he got to AEW, he just hasn't had that same, that he had when in Ring of Honor. And so, he doesn't hold that same attitude and that same edge. And if that's all part of the story, then that's definitely understandable. And maybe he needs to break out on his own and do his own thing. I personally think he needs to go heel. They do have a lot of good heels in AEW right now. I mean, you've got the Inner Circle, which is full of fucking heels. You got Pac. You've got a couple Jericho, who I said was in the Inner Circle. You got a lot of good heels, but Adam Page could pull himself out to be, an even better one. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that all goes down. I think it's interesting that he's leaving the Elite. It's definitely going to change things up. But I wonder what they're going to do with him. If he's going to go heel, he's going to have to reinvent himself and do that. I think it could be good to see him go heel. So that's just me. Let's see next up. Oh, it's hold on. It's a Noah go for WWE. See, you get what I did there? Yeah, Noah. Yeah. This past week, WWE attempted to get in on the white-hot Japanese wrestling scene. It recently hit a snag, though, according to Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer. On a recent episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, he reported that WWE attempted to buy the Japanese promotion Pro Wrestling Noah and use it as a platform to launch NXT Japan, another branch of the growing NXT brand. Example of, NXT Original, NXT UK. However, the deal couldn't get done, and while it doesn't kill WWE's hopes of launching a Japan-based promotion, it does put them in a bit of a disadvantage. A little backstory for you about Pro Wrestling Noah. Noah was originally launched in 2000 when Mitsuharu Misawa led a mass exodus from All Japan Pro Wrestling as 24 of its 26 contracted wrestlers left the company. Over the years, the company has created a number of major Japanese stars, including former WWE star Hideo Itami, also known as Kenta, and has been in working relationships with other promotions like New Japan Pro, TNA, Impact, and currently Major League Wrestling. Meltzer also noted that WWE is still trying to sign Japanese wrestlers to work as trainers for NXT Japan, but wouldn't name names. Unfortunately, due to the JoJo system that major promotions like New Japan utilize, there isn't a large number of independent Japanese wrestlers WWE can simply scoop up. Meanwhile, back in the U.S., NXT is entering its third full week of 2-hour live television on USA Network. This week's episode will feature Keith Lee versus Dominik Jahajovic. Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest, Tegan Knox's return to the brand, and Tommaso Ciampa's return match against Angel Garza. At the same time, AEW will air the latest episode of AEW Dynamite on TNT from Philadelphia. The show will feature... this is a couple weeks ago, yeah. The news is a little older than what I thought. As thus far, AEW has won the ratings battle. That's also old because that's changing. But yeah, so WWE attempted to buy Pro Wrestling Noah, and I'm so very glad that they didn't fucking cave. Noah is actually a pretty cool little promotion. I've watched some of their stuff. I haven't watched a lot of their current, but Mitsuharu Misawa, by the way, great wrestler, great Japanese wrestler, got some YouTube stuff. You ever get a chance, go and check it out. Unfortunately, he's no longer alive. He took a real bad suplex in 2009, and it wasn't the suplex that killed him. It was the major amount of neck injuries beforehand. But he did take the suplex, and he just unfortunately he broke his neck, and he didn't make it. So it happens, and they've always held their ring aprons green because that was like his color was green, is what he wore out to the ring and shit like that. Mitsuharu Misawa was a legendary wrestler of Japan and New Japan and All Japan and eventually Pro Wrestling Noah. So you ever get a chance to check out some of his matches, he had some really great matches with guys like Stan Hansen, with Kenta Kobayashi. I think he had a really nice match with Minoru Suzuki, but I'm not entirely sure about that last one. But you can check it out on YouTube, and if you've got any other way to watch Pro Wrestling Noah, and if you do, let me know, because I can't find any way to fucking watch any new Pro Wrestling Noah. That's what I've been trying to do, is really get into some more Japanese wrestling other than New Japan, which I really love New Japan, but, I'd like to get a little more versatile palette, so there's that. This week, I threw Raw on for a little bit. It was just as boring as I remember. I got through the Kevin Owens-McIntyre match, which was good. And then the segment following that was pretty good as well. Other than that, I fell asleep. I can't even give you a full rating. I didn't watch a lot of the show before that segment, and then I watched that segment, and I ended up falling asleep after the talking and stuff was done. I will say I caught the Seth Rollins match too, and it was shit. And I mean, it sounds like I'm just biased, like, oh, you're just an AEW mark, It's not just that. It's just, man, this shit doesn't cut the fucking mustard, man. It really doesn't. It doesn't cut any kind of fucking mustard. It's just boring to watch, and it's unfortunate because it's guys like Andrade, Cien Almas, and it was versus Seth Rollins, and this should have been like a pay-per-view-esque match, and it just felt so fucking scripted. It just felt so fucking choreographed. Like, you could tell, man. And you could see it. You could even see it in their eyes, damn it. You could see it. It was just... It was boring. It was just BOOAAOOAARING. Fucking boring. And it's... I will say, though, that the Kevin Owens-McIntyre match was good. And then the talking part, Triple H trying to bring Kevin Owens back to NXT, the house that he made, shit like that was not bad either. But the rest of the show is just pretty much garbage. I expected it to be garbage, I guess. Big J says, rumor mill this week believes Punk signing with Fox is so Punk is not under no compete clause, is under a no compete clause with WWE, and we'll have a match at AEW. Oh, is that he's not? Oh, okay, I understand. I don't think it's going to happen, dude. I don't think WWE would let him work there. They would find a way to oust his ass. I don't know, man. That's interesting. That is an interesting rumor and an interesting thing, and I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Maybe even discuss it a little more. But I just don't think WWE would let that happen. There would be something. Let's see. Just moving on. Number 4 on my notes here. Return of the Bash at the Beach. Yeah, big one, guys. So this past week, Cody has filed for the trademark and copyrights of WCW's Bash at the Beach. There's more to this. WCW's classic event, Bash at the Beach, is coming back. Only this time it's being done under the AEW banner in conjunction with Chris Jericho's Cruise. The press release from All Elite Wrestling explains, AEW today announced Bash at the Beach, an unprecedented 9-day experience for superfans that features 2 Dynamite shows, a cruise on board Chris Jericho's tricked-out party ship, and non-stop entertainment in between. The adventure begins on January 15th when AEW Dynamite takes over the Wasco Center in the University of Miami for a Bash at the Beach themed episode and continues with Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Ranger at Sea, sailing round trip from Miami to Nassau, Bahamas on January 20th through 24th. High-octane bouts with the biggest names from AEW will be filmed from Jericho's sold-out Norwegian Pearl ship, including the January 22nd episode of Dynamite on TNT. The history-making event will be bubbling, a little bit of the bubbly, with exclusive opportunities to meet AEW's star-studded roster, as well as non-stop wrestling, rock and roll, live podcasts, paranormal explanations, talent-hosted activities, autograph sessions, parties, and more. A little bit of recall about Bash at the Beach. WCW's Bash at the Beach began in 1994 and lasted until 2000. As you'll recall, Jericho's first foray into the cruise business took place in 2018. The event featured Ring of Honor talent wrestling in matches, including members of the Elite. AEW's Bash at the Beach events will deliver 9 unforgettable days of wrestling and much, much more from the hottest company on the business today, says Chris Jericho. Thousands of the friends of Jericho on board the sold-out Rock and Wrestling Ranger at Sea will have the experience of their lives, and now millions more will be able to watch AEW Dynamite along with us as we break out the bubbly together from Miami to the Bahamas. So that's really cool. Cody went through and, from what I gather, has filed a trademark for that. But see, now I've got an update on that story. From what I gather, he was denied. But there's got to be something going on with that because they've already advertised Bash at the Beach. I mean, they advertised it on Dynamite this Wednesday night. You know, the logo and shit came up. Like, they've already been advertised. He wouldn't be advertising. He wouldn't be taking a risk like that if he didn't already have a fail-safe plan. The legal team wouldn't allow him to do that. You know, that's a lawsuit. So I don't know what's going on. I know that he filed copyright trademarks and such on Bash the Beach, Bunkhouse Stampede, the Dusty Rhodes name, and a couple of other pay-per-views and some other terms from old WCW such. So I have to wait and see how that goes down. Definitely will keep you guys updated. And I may have another part of the story on that later on, but we'll have to wait till we get there. Let's see. Seth Rollins continues to taunt CM Punk on Twitter. We noted earlier today how Punk took to Twitter to comment on the state of the pro wrestling industry as he catches up on happenings for WWE backstage. Punk wrote, and I quote, "It is weird trying to catch up on 5 years of wrestling. I'm doing what I can. There's bright spots, mostly women from what I can tell. There's bad too. I'm going to talk about it. No one's safe. Join us." And it tagging, Renee Young, Booker T, Paige, Vince McMahon, and Tony Khan. In an update, Rollins responded this afternoon and once again called Punk out for a fight. Rollins wrote, "Don't talk about me, fight me, I'll catch you right up." As noted, Rollins first called Punk out following last Tuesday's WWE Backstage premiere for Punk. Punk will be back on FS1 for tomorrow's episode, and that will be the first episode where he really gets involved in various wrestling discussions. For those who missed last week's exchange, seen below, Rollins offered to take a flight to Fox TV studios in Los Angeles for a confrontation with Punk after the WWE on Fox Twitter account challenged him to bring it onto the show. There's no word yet on if Rollins and Punk will have a showdown on WWE Backstage, but they could be building to it. Like we talked about, and I kind of fantasy booked. This could really all be the beginning of a massive story for Punk. And Seth Rollins, who better to try and get Seth Rollins over than CM Punk, who is absolutely white hot right now, even if he's not in the ring. And if they could get him to get back into the ring, he'd be the guy. Seth Rollins would be the guy to put him with because he is the top guy in the company. God, please don't put him with Roman Reigns. If he does come back, don't put him with Roman Reigns. That's the worst decision you could make. That's like making The Undertaker lose to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Oh, yep. He's probably going with Roman Reigns. There's a good chance he's going to wrestle with Roman Reigns. So be prepared for that.